The English word sphinx originates from the Greek word sphingo, meaning to bind or to strangle. Therefore, the sphinx literally translates to the strangler. In Greek myth, the sphinx would confront travelers with a riddle and destroy those who failed to answer. Its challenge was ultimately solved by Oedipus, who realized that the riddle described the stages of human life. What has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? To solve this riddle, one needs to unfocus or expand their attention of awareness. The cycle of the year can be overlaid on top of the cycle of the day, and so too can the human life cycle be overlaid on top of the day and year cycle. This overlapping of cycles is called superposition. The sun rises at 6 a.m. That's the birth of the sun. Just as Aries, the zodiac sign, births the new year, just as you are born, you crawl on all fours. Hence, what has 4 legs in the morning? At 12 noon, the sun is in the middle of the sky. This is called midday. Most healthy, middle-aged people walk on 2 legs. And of course, we have 6 p.m. when the sun sets, which correlates to fall time, which is when you fall after your senior years. Hence, 3 legs in the evening, 2 weak limbs plus a cane to help us walk. Across cultures, however, the Sphinx carries deeper symbolism. The monumental Great Sphinx of Giza, with a lion's body and a human head, suggests a fusion of instinct and intellect. In Egyptian tradition, it guarded sacred spaces, while in Greek tradition, it tested human understanding. Both versions imply a threshold, a moment where raw perception must transform into insight. Seen philosophically, the Sphinx can represent a gatekeeper of awareness. Its riddle is not just a puzzle, but a mirror. It forces the listener to step outside ordinary thinking and recognize patterns about themselves and existence. In this sense, the Sphinx symbolizes a test of meta-awareness, the capacity to overlap or move between modes of consciousness. To pass the Sphinx is not merely to know an answer, but to become aware of awareness itself, a mythic metaphor for learning to move consciousness at the edge where different modes of awareness meet. The Sphinx stands before temples because it is an instruction. It is composed of the 4 fixed signs, the human, the lion, the bull, and the eagle, the zodiacal powers of Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio. As a composite creature, it represents superposition, the integration of multiple states within a single awareness. The Sphinx does not fuse the states into one indistinguishable condition, rather it shows mastery of them, the ability to move across them and overlap them. These correspond to the 4 states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, lucid waking, and lucid dreaming. The Sphinx, therefore, stands at the temple gate as a lesson. Initiation requires the integration and a navigation of all states of awareness. This is also why the Bible tells us to become like children. The child symbolizes awareness that has not hardened into a fixed identity. A child moves fluidly between modes of awareness without rigid boundaries. Their awareness is flexible and exploratory rather than locked into a single state. This same idea appears in sacred geometry, where Christ is often depicted within the Veshika Pisces. The Veshika is formed by the overlap of 2 circles, symbolizing the meeting and interpenetration of states. Christ placed within this overlap represents consciousness capable of inhabiting more than one mode of awareness at once. The description of Christ as both fully human and fully divine does not simply point to 2 natures fused together, but to meta-awareness, the capacity to remain conscious of consciousness itself, and to remain present in the intersection of states. The Wheel of Fortune in tarot reflects this same principle. Prophetic vision or fortune-telling emerges from the crossing of 2 different kinds of overlap between conscious and subconscious awareness. In one direction, the dream state enters waking life. A person is awake, yet the imagery and intuition of the subconscious rise into consciousness. In the other direction, awareness enters the dream itself. Consciousness wakes up inside the dream, becoming lucid within the subconscious world. These 2 movements cross each other, which is why the card bears the symbol X. It does not only represent the number 10, it also visually expresses a crisscrossing of states, the intersection where waking mind and dreaming mind overlap, and where oracular divination becomes possible. If you'd like to learn more about ancient symbols and the rites of passage into the mysteries, be sure to check out my book Beyond the Veil, one of 3 books in the Holy Trinity bundle, 3 brand new books that I just finished writing, which will all be available very soon. Beyond the Veil, Demystified Mysteries, Oracles, and Oils, and Decodified Movies, Venom Vision, and the Hidden Rites.